I don't know if that's the kind of dynamic. I mean, if a guy wanted to do that, if that were the type of relationship dynamic, there's nothing wrong with
You
that.
think really? You think that's going to increase her arousal?
Do you think that every time you talk to a partner, your goal is to increase their arousal every single time?
I mean, you definitely don't want to you definitely don't want to decrease it. You're either winning her or losing
When
her,
you call
right? I
your
don't think
girlfriend, are you like, "Oh no, I can't ask for extra toilet
so.
paper.
Wait,
That's
Hunter,
totally gonna turn her off." Fuck.
when your career completely
What am I
fell
gonna
off,
do?
did you cry to your wife?
I'm about to go cry to my wife after this conversation because you are breaking me, my friend. You
Do
are
you
breaking me
recommend young
down.
men do that? Honey, I lost 100 million followers because I'm afraid to get banned.
I think that the notion that a man shouldn't cry and should never be emotionally vulnerable is incredibly detrimental for men's overall well-being. It is a
Well,
clinic.
I'm saying
Well,
for
hold
a
on, wait,
job.
Zherka, shut the
I'm
fuck
saying
up.
for a
It has
job.
been
I'm saying for a
clinically
job. You
demonstrated.
lost a job.
Be quiet.
You lost
It
a
has been
job. Can you cry?
clinically demonstrated.
Hey everybody, today we're debating whether or not men today are more wimpy, and we are starting right now with the yes side, in particular. Zherka, thanks for being with us. The floor is all yours.
Okay, so hey guys, Zherka here, and today we're talking about, are men in 2023 wimpy? I mean, this goes without saying. There's like every single meme on the internet is related to this topic. Are men, like, let's just look at men coming out of high school. What are we seeing is dudes with butt plugs and furry tails, Zoomers that are furries, letting their girlfriends get fucked by other men. They're getting pegged. And this is like a common thing. They're getting pegged to impress their girlfriend that's not even theirs. I mean, they have an open relationship as they're exploring their gayness. And most of these guys aren't even gay. They're just trending, they're just going with the trend. And so, and there's this softness to it where it's like, you don't really see like 1950s macho men anymore. You see this kind of like Hunter Avalon, mainstream media, Masonic media program, I will call them neo males, where it's like all they want to do is play StarCraft, and they don't ever lift weights. They don't do anything manly. They don't ever like protect their tribe, and they don't fight for their woman. You see their women on subways getting beaten up, and they do nothing about it. And then you also look into the gynocentric world that we're in, and how in media, corporate, finance, every level of society, they promote this feminization of men. You see Gillette commercials too. They know 80% of the consumer market, the women hold the credit cards. So they make even feminine Gillette, like razor commercials, directed towards more feminine type people, because they know the world is changing. This whole, just to be masculine now is considered toxic. It's actually crazy. And they're giving us all these quotas, and they're trying to push from top down. They're trying to make this whole, women can do it too. Men and women are kind of equal, and women can definitely join the military, but we're not going to make them do like 5 fucking pull-ups. They don't have to do any pull-ups to just join. And so when you lower the standards for women to make it more equal with men, because men are smarter than and stronger than women in every single way, on average, it's like, of course you're going to see men lack masculinity when you don't incentivize for it. Also, I think it's something in the water too, in the food. Something's making these, like, Hunter Avalon is having some kind of fluoride water every day that made him go from right-wing trans hater, right, like the good old days, to, and I think that was bad. I think he was a very evil person for hating the trans community back in his day. But now he's like had enough of that soy, Florida atrazine water. Now Hunter's become this, I'll let anyone bang my wife type attitude. I don't know if he does that, but he's definitely on board with people being in open relationships and acting totally feminine. And it's like, when you think of your most confident moments in life, it was when you were the most masculine. when you think of the moments in your life where you had the least depression, anxiety, despair, it was when you were the most masculine. But now they're encouraging us to be little wimps, and it's kind of stupid that we're pretending, well, maybe it's not out there. The question is not, have men become wimpy? It's the real question is why, because we all agree they've become very wimpy, especially since World War II, when men were men. But yeah, I'll give it off to someone else and make America great again.
Okay. Am I next? Or how does it go?
Yeah, you're next, Alex.
All right, cool. So I figured it would be very appropriate for me to wear my hardcore Russian hat, which I got for filming a video that we're going to do pretty soon. We're going to pick up girls as a Russian spy. But I think this is very appropriate for the topic. I'm going to keep my speech very short. I'm going to make 3 points why I think men are definitely wimpier today. And I think several of them are very objective. First of all, testosterone levels are lower than they've ever been for the average male. This is scientifically undeniable. You know, they've done tests on this. And on average, men have very low testosterone levels now compared to what they used to have. Testosterone is directly correlated to just roughly how manly you are. Of course, it's not the only metric, but definitely plays a role. You take a guy who has very low testosterone, he's going to be less manly than the guy who has higher testosterone. That's the first metric. The second metric is the incel rates. They're just way higher than they've ever been. We're at about 25% of men under 30 report being never having had sex, right? Back in the day, in 2008, I think it used to be like 8%. So yeah, so men are not having sex, right? Which again, because a lot of women are not finding them attractive, the testosterone levels are lower. And the third metric, this one may sound somewhat subjective, but every single girl I've ever interviewed, which is dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, have all said the same thing. Men today are becoming wimpier. They're not manly enough. You know, I like a guy who's masculine. A lot of these guys are not that masculine, and that's what's turning off. That's why I'm single, blah, blah, blah. So I'm coming at it from a anecdotal perspective and also from a, you know, scientific perspective why men are definitely wimpier today. That's basically what I have to say. Now I can take off my Russian hat.
You got it. Thank you very much for that opening. We are going to kick it over to the no side as well. But if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, want to let you know, folks, we're glad you're here no matter what walk of life you are from. As well as, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We have many more debates coming up here at Modern Day Debate. And with that, thank you very much to the no side for being with us. The floor is all yours, Hunter.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, thanks so much for having me on here. So I know I'm on the no side of things, but I'm kind of more or less in the middle side of things. I do think that it really comes down to how you're defining wimp. So if you look at the definition of wimp, right, it just means an ineffectual, cowardly, and weak man. So weak, if we're talking about physical strength, similar to what Alex said, yes, then if we're going to measure wimpiness based on physical strength, then men nowadays are definitely wimpier. Because
you want to see weak. Try the mirror.
Okay.
This is our opening
his
statement,
opening
Zherka.
as well.
Calm your tits, buddy.
Well, it's okay, Zherka. I know the estrogen levels are probably peaking over there, causing you to act all sorts of catty and bitchy and whatnot, but we'll get to that in a minute. What I was getting at a minute ago was just that what Alex said is that the testosterone levels are going down. They are lower than ever before, and that's true, partially because the type of employment that men are engaged in now does not require as much physical strength. So testosterone, being as high as it was, isn't actually as needed as much. Incel rates, though, another good example. I also think, though, that a lot of men are quote-unquote wimpy and cowardly because they are socialized to specifically be cowardly of themselves in a way. This idea that you need to suppress your feelings or suppress emotions is cowardly, ultimately. It might not intuitively seem that way, but it really is. It is cowardly to run away from real emotions that you are experiencing, and rather than dealing with it in a healthy way, try and just suppress it because you might make your crush a little bit turned off when she sees you getting sad. Like, that's the cowardly approach to go.
Forever.
So it's much better to instead just know how... Zherka, chill, my friend. Again, it's much better to recognize your emotions, recognize the time and the place to express those emotions, and recognize the situation, obviously, and act appropriately. The last thing I'll say is Zherka actually brought up how nowadays masculinity is called toxic. And I've talked a lot about toxic masculinity. Specifically, I will concede right away that there are quite a lot of dumb cucks on Twitter who, yes, they will say anytime a man does anything they don't like, it's toxic masculinity. But toxic masculinity, what that's really referring to is a collection of social expectations placed on men that are actually harmful to men. Specifically, hey, you're a man, so you shouldn't cry or you shouldn't be showing these emotions. So in Zherka, you bring up the 1950s macho men aren't really around that much. I don't know if that's that much of a problem, because a lot of those guys, although maybe they gave the appearance of masculinity and physical strength, were emotional wrecks. They were abusive towards their wives. They were overall pieces of shit. This is not necessarily the type of masculinity that I think we should be going back to. So, long story short, are men nowadays wimpier? I definitely think if we're talking physical strength, yes. If we're talking emotionally, I think that we're headed in a good direction where men are able to be less cowardly when it comes to dealing with their emotions. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. So there's still a lot of socialization in regards to men being wimpy.
Thanks for that. We'll kick it to Ashley before we go into the open dialogue.
Howdy, howdy, hi. I'm Ashley, not your everyday Ashley, XOXO. Being the only female on this panel, I will just go with my take on this, obviously. I believe that masculinity nowadays is kind of defined by women, right? Arguably, if a man were to be his natural self, he'd be what? More sexual, observant, aggressive, decisive, physically strong, competitive, successful at work, blah, blah, blah. The same traits now, though, are being displayed by females, and it's being considered empowering. So I don't know that it's necessarily that men are becoming more wimpy. It's just that they're actually having to match women, basically. I think that that's where this whole argument comes from. And then if we want to talk about wimpy, or aka masculine, right, you would say that, like, the definition of masculinity, there's not like it's very broad. It's just saying considered to be characteristics of men, marked or having qualities, features, etc., traditionally associated with being men, right? So I guess my main stance would just be that it's not that men are becoming more wimpy and less masculine. It's that the world is evolving, and there is a certain group or sector of men that are having trouble keeping up and evolving with them, because whereas used to they could be mediocre, now they actually have to be better than mediocre, because more women are able to be better than mediocre. Okay, so the playing level and the bar has been risen, and you guys just have to kind of catch up. Another thing Zherka said about, like, oh, well, there's so many men that he likes to talk about relationship styles, cucking, and sexual preferences, being pegged, etc. I would argue that actually since the dawn of humanity, there's been a lot of hidden homosexual tendencies in men. I think that a huge thing, reason why this is becoming more prevalent or like known now, is it's just simply technology. It's social media. It's the fact that we have all these videos and people and vlogs and YouTube stories available on the internet. It's becoming more normalized, but it's always actually been a thing. I'm sorry that threatens your masculinity, though. And I guess that would just be my biggest, my kind of take on that. I'll pass it off.
You got it. With that, we're going to jump into the open dialogue. Do want to say, folks, as mentioned, glad that you're here at Modern Day Debate. We are a neutral platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. We hope you feel welcome no matter what walk of life. And the table is set. Let's get to the main course.
Zherka, do you mind if I go first?
Unmuted you, Zherka. So Zherka, you should be able to, I'll click unmute again, just so you're able to unmute yourself, and that way you'll be able to talk. I will mute if everybody's talking over each other.
Zherka, do you mind if I go first? I have
Not at all. Destroy these fucking clowns.
Okay. All right. So first of all, this is a little bit of a random side point, but it's an important one. So Hunter, you said that testosterone lowers your physical strength. That is true, but it doesn't only affect your physical strength. It affects your overall mental well-being. If you have low testosterone, you are less likely to be confident and assertive. Will you agree with me on that?
I mean, if we're talking about like dangerously low levels, then yeah, that's fair. But if we're talking about like what's happening here, which is just a steady decrease of testosterone, that's much more so because of employment.
Well, we're talking, that's not necessarily true, but we're talking about the difference between a testosterone level of between like an average of 700 and 300. 300 would be not considered like dangerously low, you're going to die, but it is twice as low. And men who go on testosterone replacement therapy and me being one of them, report that afterwards that you do feel more confident, you do feel more assertive, you do feel more grounded, right? That's just a very common knowledge for anyone who's ever taken.
Because it's natural for men to have higher levels of testosterone than women. Okay, so when you say strong and confident, et cetera, what does that have to do necessarily with masculinity, though? Because I think you're mainly talking about like your sex drive and energy level.
No, I'm not. Because if we can show that testosterone is directly related to your confidence and assertiveness, and we can show that testosterone is,
I don't think you can, though.
Well, you can look that up. I'm not as concerned about that, because if you're going to say that, hey, testosterone levels are naturally decreasing with every generation, this can be leading to men being less assertive, which can be detrimental, then that's fine. That's a conversation to be had. And again, I never really contested this even. I mean, yeah, the testosterone levels are going down. And if you're telling me it has...
a bad thing?
Well, hold on. I'm saying if you're telling me it has a negative...
You better take a hard stance here. Is that a bad
No, I
thing?
don't need to take a hard stance. I'm trying to finish my first point here, so hold on a moment. What I'm saying is that if the testosterone levels are getting down to a place, again, where it's not healthy, then we can talk about that. But I never disagreed that testosterone levels are dropping. And if you're telling me they have problems with, or it can cause issues with mental well-being, then we should talk about that as well. But like,
that's directly related to the argument.
But what does this have to? So what can we do to change that then, specifically?
How can we change it for men? Well, largely for men, it involves their diet and their sleep and their physical routine, right?
And so encouraging people to go exercise more. We would agree on that one, probably.
Right. I mean, exercise is a small part of it, but that's we're getting off to a side tangent. I'm trying to prove a point that men today are wimpier than they were back in the day. And the evidence I'm using for that is the fact that, it's beyond dispute that men have lower testosterone levels. And it's also beyond dispute that testosterone is directly related to your confidence. So if you have lower confidence because of your hormones, you are going to be more wimpy. Is that not so?
Sure.
Do you not think that, though, hormone levels in men and women are actually both?
Well, why don't we just look at? Why don't we look at?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not.
Thank you, lady. Thank you for that. Why don't we look at? Maybe it's anecdotal, but let's look at Hunter. When he started YouTube, he was filled with testosterone. And then it slowly kind of...
Why do you always go down to these like weird insults? You realize when I started YouTube, people... Wait, hold on. When I started... Well, when I started YouTube, my friend, people...
the only compliment I'll ever give.
Not actually intelligent.
People, when I started YouTube, people made fun of me for looking like an anorexic twink. Like,
right, but
no one said I had... No one said I looked masculine. I've never been a particularly masculine-looking guy, but I think that this is almost aside the point. I think that a better...
When you started YouTube, you didn't have like a defeated feminine temperament. Mm-hmm. You used to actually speak different, sound different.
Yep.
It was actually like it's
like I had no idea. I had no idea you were such a fan. That's
and then you started deciding to implement toxic masculine talk into your game, and then
it's almost like I took Hunter's fucking testosterone. Because I became more. He became
every time we have these conversations with these red pill people, and you guys are so obsessed with masculinity, you inevitably end up saying something really gay sounding. It's always hilarious. But again, let's try to
Where was the gay thing?
Where by saying you took away my testosterone, I don't know. It just sounded a little bit. It could have some innuendos there. But
and your obsession
regardless,
with getting
I think a better
and weird cucking things.
No, but Hunter,
guys, wait, please. Can we let's stop?
Example.
Let's stop with the dick measuring contest here because
when you were successful, right, and a Republican,
I'm going to give you a quick chance to finish on, and then we do have to go over to Hunter.
Something in Hunter's psyche changed. Like
it was after you swallowed the load of my testosterone.
I know what it was.
When
Hunter.
You were on your knees.
Your wife soft.
It was when you were on your knees swallowing the load of my testosterone.
We're going to talk about people's wives.
Your wife turned you into a Democrat, right, Hunter?
My wife, actually, no, not at all. That's another really weird.
Really, she had no influence. Living with her,
can we move?
Can
we hold on?
Can we actually get back on topic?
Yeah,
we're going to go back to Hunter. I got to give him a chance.
No, one in the chat. If Hunter's the perfect example,
I had no idea that Zherka was such a big fan or former fan. I'm sorry that I let you down, my friend.
I used to love you when you hit it.
Let's hear from Hunter. I got to put you on mute so Hunter can make his case. Go ahead, Hunter.
A better question that I would love to ask Zherka is specifically, does he believe that there are any forms of expectations regarding masculinity that could result in harm to the man? Does he think that's a thing?
No, I don't think masculinity can ever be harmful to the male. Ever. Even if your wife gets slapped on the subway by some, let's say a white guy, right? Diversity is our greatest strength, right? Someone slaps your wife and you go and fight these guys and they beat the shit out of you. 4 guys beat. that level of masculinity you displayed still was not harmful to you. It still was healthier to get your ass whooped and move and act than to be like, according to my calculations, I lost this fight.
Zherka, what if you get?
That's not what I've.
Suicide rates among men.
That has
in
nothing
the
to.
era
That was
you were
not.
talking about.
Yeah, no.
Zherka,
Also,
the era
yeah,
of men being great, the suicide rates are the highest.
This
How
is
about
why I
that?
feel like
All
people
males-
think Zherka's a troll, though, is because it's like our.
He is a troll. He's a self-admitted one, actually.
I'm not a troll. Here, I'll
Yes,
be
you
honest.
are. You admitted
Okay,
it. I
okay,
listened to you
lady,
say
lady,
it many
and
times.
lady,
My name's
lady and Hunter.
Ashley,
I
Zherka.
genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I swear to God, you both know you guys adopt retard positions. You know your liberal thinking is retarded.
He's so
That's why when you
emotional
guys debate,
today, my
think about
friend.
every
I'm so
time you guys
sorry,
have to
dude.
debate your
I thought
position,
we were
you
actually
to
going to
do
have
this.
a debate. I didn't realize
Every-
this was just going to
this
be
is
Well,
like.
I
all
thought
you
that
guys want to
Zherka's
do.
skyrocketing
Just
testosterone
fine.
would surely
Entertain
amount to
Myra
a
Gaines' point.
Fine
vast amount of
masculinity.
knowledge.
I just
but
don't know what
unfortunately, it's
masculinity
just-
is.
All right, can I
All right, I
redirect?
have to do this. What
redirect?
I'm going to do is I'm going
Please,
to
Alex.
mute you guys, and then we will restart. We haven't heard from Alex. If you've got a point you'd like to make, I'm happy to have you. Otherwise, we haven't heard from Ashley for a while either.
It's actually a question for Ashley. Ashley, what percentage of men that you've met up with in the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years would you say we're not masculine enough to turn you on? Just give me your, like, honest answer.
She hasn't had a man in years.
Oh, Ashley's got a few guys.
I've got to give. Go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. What percentage, I guess? I know you love your percentages, Alex. I don't know exactly how to give a percentage, but
Just
I don't know
ballpark.
exactly. I don't know exactly what you mean. Met up with, like, from online dating,
And you
et cetera,
thought,
like-
yes, men that you met up with from online dating that you thought were
Mhm.
too feminine. They didn't turn you on. They weren't dominant enough.
Probably half and half, 50-50.
Okay, that's a pretty good amount, right? 1.5, 2 guys is too feminine to turn you on.
Yeah, I guess. See, I see what you're doing, but you'd have to, like, define feminine. I don't know that I would say it was feminine or that he had characteristics or traits I didn't like. Yeah.
Well, it seems like your initial response was 50% when I said feminine, right? Or when I said not
Well,
masculine.
that's because you and I know each other really well, and I know what you mean by feminine, masculine, arguably. But I'm just saying, like, for the sake of the debate.
Here,
what
can we
exactly do you
define
mean?
the terms? How about this? Okay, and I'll
Well, yeah,
go
I
with.
did in my opening statement.
Well,
kind
you're
of.
wrong. You have CNN.
No, it was
talking.
from the fucking
Your-
internet, from
Your
several
CNN,
sources.
your CNN definitions are wrong.
No, it's
Let's use-
Webster's.
I'm kind of just
Hunter,
sad that we're
what
already
percent-
derailing because me and Zherka
Okay.
were actually in an interesting. Because
Wait, Hunter, I have a quick question for you. What percentage of men do you think are too feminine to turn a woman on? If you had to take a guess, Ashley thinks so.
80%. 80%
I don't
put
know.
it-
This
I
sounds
would
like
put
a
it
question
around 70
Zherka
or
would have a
82.
better answer for you for.
Well,
Zherka,
but
how
no,
many
I know-
men
I know
would
what's- I know
Zherka,
what's
how
so-
many men would
are
you
sexually
how,
active, Hunter?
Zherka, how many men would you willingly swallow a load of their testosterone for?
I don't want my career to go like yours, so I'm not joining the gay side.
Are they particularly masculine or feminine men? Are
Your
they
career.
kinky? But
I mean,
it sounds like Zherka said you don't think
Hunter,
any
hold on.
masculinity
While
can
you're
be.
being cute, why don't you admit living with your wife made you a Democrat?
Well, do you want me to admit
Admit
that
it.
for the
Just
sake
admit
of?
it. That's the only missing variable. Admit how
Do you have like a
fucked up.
strange
So
fetish
what
to hear me
Coming from
say
the
that, or do
guy
you want me to
who
lie?
fucking
What would you
fucked
like?
up
said
as
that
hard as
he's
you.
got to go out
How
of the
did you-
country to get a wife.
Hold on,
because
hate to
of
do
his
this.
Is this
but
his
just because
wife?
We have too many.
Are
All
you
right.
his wife?
He's
So-
gonna get a mail.
I enjoy muting all of you sometimes.
Oh, we just got
but
muted.
what I'm going to do is, just to be sure we have some order, let's go to either Hunter or Alex, just because. Let's just cool it down. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alex or Hunter, do you have a preference?
Yeah, I can. I would just like to respond very quickly, if that's possible, to Zherka, because
Oh, that's right. So I just clicked unmute. So you have
I'm
to.
good now. Yeah, actually, this is
Am I
another thing I
still
wrote
muted?
down while
Oh,
Hunter was
I
giving his
see.
opening statement. So I think you're making a bit straw man
Oh.
argument of what it means not to be wimpy. And the way you respond is like, well, it's not a good thing that men are now feel like they have to hide their emotions. But at least not me. That's not what I think it means to be masculine, right? I think it's more about having courage. It's being not afraid to go for what you want. In a date setting, that would mean not being afraid to kiss the girl or not being afraid to lead, which is something that women desperately say that they want more. They want guys who are confident, more assertive.
you're
Or
right. And
more
they
women.
actually they want guys not even who are just.
masculinity.
just
I'm
to-
so
well,
sorry.
just-
I genuinely didn't hear that.
I gotta disagree with my own.
Just to
teammate
build on
here.
what Alex said there is, you're right actually that women do want a degree of confidence or whatever, and they also want a degree of emotional connection that a lot of guys
Yeah,
lack.
women want
They
a
are
2016
unable-
Hunter Avalon.
they're oftentimes unable to. Did I break your heart, Zherka? Are you okay, my friend?
You're a traitor, fuck. That's what
A
you
lot
are.
of the times,
You're-
like we talk
you're
a lot about
Judas.
how
Hey, Judas, get to your
Hold
talking
on, we
point,
have to
Judas.
hear from.
we
let's
talk a
go,
lot about how
Hunter.
women will initiate more divorce, which is true. But a lot of the reason for that is specifically because men are not able to meet their emotional needs, which I don't blame men for that because they are socialized to suppress their emotions. So I almost feel like we could come to middle ground here, Alex. If you're saying low testosterone rates can contribute to a lack of confidence, well then yeah, maybe we need to start talking about healthier diets, exercising more, etc., etc. because
I
you
do that
need
all
to
the
still
time on
have,
my channel.
well, hold
Yeah.
on, because you need to still have enough confidence to be willing to be vulnerable at times with your partner if you really wish to see that relationship succeed. So I
Oh,
feel like if
yeah,
anything,
sure.
we could agree
Well,
here.
you're talking about more about like long-term relationship success, which is fine, but initially to even get your foot in the door, right? Emotional vulnerability typically doesn't start until a little bit later until you guys start getting.
Wait. Can we
But-
let's just
Well, hold on, wait,
define
me and
the
Alex are trying to talk
scenario.
here.
He also
Hold on, let's
noted
just
that I am
define
an
the
ape
scenario.
and I
Hunter,
should
would
go
it
F
be
myself.
okay if I go to my fiance and let's say I lost my job? Can I be emotionally vulnerable and start crying? Honey, I got fired from work. Is that okay? Can I cry in front of her right there? Is that cool?
She's at your house, you come home and you start breaking down saying, I lost my job and I'm really concerned.
Yeah, do you recommend I do that?
I don't know if that's the kind of dynamic. I mean, if a guy wanted to do that, if that were the type of relationship dynamic, there's nothing wrong with
You
that.
think really? You think that's going to increase her arousal?
Do you think that every time you talk to a partner, your goal is to increase their arousal every single time?
I mean, you definitely don't want to you definitely don't want to decrease it. You're either winning her or losing her.
When you
right?
call your
Either
girlfriend, are you like, oh no, I can't ask for extra toilet paper?
So wait,
That's
Hunter,
totally going to turn her
Hunter,
off.
when your career completely
What am I
fell
gonna
off,
do?
did you cry to your wife?
I'm about to go cry to my wife after this conversation because you are breaking me, my friend. You are
Do you
breaking me
recommend
down.
young men do that? Honey, I lost 100 million followers because I'm afraid to get banned on
I think that the notion that a man shouldn't cry and should never be emotionally vulnerable is incredibly detrimental for men's overall well-being. It is a clinic.
I'm saying
Well, hold
for a
on, wait,
job.
Zherka, shut the
I'm
fuck
saying
up.
for a
It has been
job. I'm saying for a
clinically
job.
demonstrated.
You lost a job.
Be quiet.
You lost
It
a
has been
job. Can you cry?
clinically demonstrated that both men and women both experience about the same degrees of emotions, as in biological brain chemistry responses. Only men, for some reason, arbitrarily, are expected to suppress that and never let those emotions out in a healthy way. And this is a medical fact that suppressing emotion as a coping mechanism contributes to more suicidality, higher risk of depression, higher risk of emotional instability. You're more likely to be sporadic, which is a big reason why men commit more suicide.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that, Hunter, but I think you're
Oh,
also
I know
forgetting
that you're not disagreeing.
that
I was
men-
talking to Zherka
men-
here in this
men,
case.
men and women also experience a different type of emotions, right? Like men typically experience more like anger, and that is considered much more appropriate for a man to express than say sadness, right?
But
For
anger is a
expressing
secondary.
anger, she gets called a Karen, right?
Yes,
there
you're
are
right, but that's
different types of emotions.
yes, but a lot of that is a good example of the social, like almost a problem with some of these social expectations. You're right. When a woman gets mad, she's being bitchy. When a guy gets mad, he's being passionate and tough. You're right. These are negative expectations. But what was the first thing that you just said here? Because I think that I forgot what you had said there a minute ago. You said that you don't disagree with me that men.
I don't necessarily disagree with the argument you made about like massively like suppressing your emotions could lead to detrimental effects to men's health, but I feel like that's completely irrelevant, or in some ways largely irrelevant to the topic at hand, because we can all agree that initially, in order to get your foot in the door, you have to be confident, you have to be assertive, right? And you can be as emotionally vulnerable as you want. You can be super in touch with your emotions, but if you don't have that confidence, you don't have that assertiveness, you're not going to even be able to get to a point where the girl wants you to be emotionally vulnerable with her. And it's if a lot of men nowadays are less confident, less assertive, then they're not even able to get to that point because they can't get in their foot in the door, which kind of is explained by the fact that there's way more incels right nowadays. Like, why could that be? I mean, we can talk about technology and whatnot, but I think part of the reason is that men are less confident. Therefore, you know, when you're not confident,
Why are men less confident? That's the point I'm trying to make this
Well,
whole
I think
time.
I think
Why?
Alex is getting at that because testosterone's lower, we're seeing less confidence.
Which
I don't think that's the only reason. I don't even know if that's the main reason. I think it's one of the reasons.
Well, I think that it is one of the reasons for sure. And I think that another one of the reasons, though, is also economic, that like men right now don't have the same degree of opportunity that they had prior, especially because of physical labor jobs becoming far less pertinent. That is definitely contributing to some negative effects for men as well. But when you talk about how men feel anger more and whatnot, this is something that I'm not trying to pull the actually meme here, but actually, anger is a secondary emotion. So it's a real emotion, but it only stems from a more fundamental, foundational emotion. So if a man is expressing anger and aggression consistently, it's oftentimes because there is an underlying, more
Insecurity.
foundational emotion. Well, I don't know if insecurity would be technically.
I think it's
like
insecurity in
emotion.
a sense of inadequacy.
All right, so can we all agree that men on average are less confident and assertive than in the past?
Yeah,
Sure,
I do
but
agree.
I don't think
agree
that that's
a little
one.
bit on that.
I can agree enough, but I don't think that's entirely always a bad thing, because sometimes what it meant to be assertive was you go slap your wife in the face because
We're not
she was
talking
late
about
with
that.
making dinner.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about like being abusive. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well,
when I mean-
1950s macho men, that would be kind of like in that category.
Okay, that's not what I think.
think yes, but I
assertive
think
is.
here again, I just want to say, like, I really do think it's because of evolution. Evolution is a thing. We all know it's a thing. It's scientific. I think that our society is evolving to be more equal between men and women, being able to have the same rights.
Are you saying it's biological evolution?
It is a type of biological evolution and societal evolution. Both.
It can't be biological, because biological evolution.
Well, you just said like testosterone levels. Our levels.
But that's not because
that's
not because of our DNA, right? It's not because our DNA has evolved to have.
Well, it's still a biological response. It's something.
It's a biological response. It's not evolution, though.
No, when she speaks, I feel like
said two different things there.
Yeah, it could be. You can make an argument
I
that's
said two different things.
But it's social evolution. It just can't be biological evolution.
I could make an argument that Ashley evolved backwards.
I can give an argument that Ashley's barely said two words, and every time she does, everybody says the woman's interrupting. But toxic masculinity.
To be fair, Ashley, you interrupted me before the debate even started when we were first chatting over Zoom. So that is why I was a little bit extra annoyed right away. So it is true that
didn't notice
to
it
those
from you at all,
hold on, you're still interrupting me now. It is true that I did during the debate.
You
could say jump on you early, and that was the time when I deferred to Alex or Hunter to speak. It wasn't because you're a woman. It's because you interrupted me before we even, I think it was before we even started live streaming. And I was just amazed at how you just didn't even seem to be aware of it.
I wasn't aware of it, and I am having trouble hearing. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to. I was actually referring to the chat when every time I said
it could be a zodiac alignment. It could be, that time of the.
All right, Zherka, we have to keep it within terms of service.
Right. So I want to go back
time of the month. It's getting close to me
No, I was talking about I was not talking about periods. I was talking about zodiac alignments. I said zodiac alignment.
Okay.
I've read over 100 Freemasonic literature books, and really nobody really understands that masculine and feminine, these are temperaments. To be masculine is to be active, like the solar, like the sun. To be feminine is to be lunar. It's to be passive.
Maybe that should be, maybe when you say that's that time of year or whatever, or that time of the month, meaning the planetary alignment thing, maybe that should be against TOS just for being so incredibly stupid. Sounding like the My Little Pony next episode. Perhaps it should be against TOS just for the sake of misinformation.
Can I tell, is it sexist if I tell this girl, Hunter, to go to the kitchen?
I don't know.
You identify as a boy, right? All right, so here's what I'm trying to say, okay? Please, no interruptions. Hunter, you agree men have become, they've gotten softer, like yourself, right?
Physically, men are not nearly as physically strong as they used to be, but I think that men are also becoming a little bit more emotionally, at least stronger in the sense of recognizing certain emotional expectations that are negative.
Can these furries hang with your grandpa? If your grandpa's playing cards, can these furries play, can they hang with your grandpa, or would your grandpa traumatize them when he starts,
Do you regularly think about hanging out with a bunch of furries? Are you sucking their testosterone also? Dude, come on, my friend. Why don't you just make an argument now, okay?
I hope all 4 of your audience members are hysterically laughing. But do you think our grandparents can chill with the Zoomers of today? Can they even be in the same room, or would they look at them and say, what the fuck happened to these pussies?
I don't
Like, are
wait,
your
hold on.
grandparents
Why the hell would I
disappointed in
care
you?
about if my grandparents didn't approve of that? There's people's
I'm making the point that they got softer over time.
there's
Connected
people's
dots, you fucking
grandparents that
idiot.
wouldn't approve that right now their granddaughter or great granddaughter is engaged to a black guy. Like, I
Right,
don't
but I'm
care.
not talking
Just
about- I'm
yeah, but
saying-
just if they think it's weird or crazy, or the furries look crazy, or these darn kids nowadays
No,
are
but we
different,
agree their
doesn't mean
testosterone's lower. We agree their testosterone is lower, right?
lower
than our
testosterone,
grandparents.
sure, but that doesn't translate to being a furry necessarily.
Okay, maybe I'm using extreme, but like try and get there faster. Like just explore the hypothetical, you fucking retard. Okay, here's the point I'm trying to make. If we all agree men have gotten softer, I guess our only disagreement would be you guys don't think it's a government thing, right? Oh, it's a conspiracy from the government. You don't believe that, right?
Well, I don't believe that, and I also don't believe that just men blanket have been
Wait, so you
made
believe
softer.
governments want macho men? They want them?
Why would the government not particularly want macho men who can work labor jobs?
I mean,
It's true that they're not as pertinent, but they're still relevant for the economy.
Is there anything more masculine than the revolutionary spirit? Why would governments want a masculine revolutionary society? They could just pitchfork them out of the fucking office. Of course, they want
revolutionary
weak
spirit.
They want weak consumers like Hunter Avalon. Like you
Wait.
just stay online all day playing your little StarCraft.
You realize there's
hamsters in the fucking wheel.
there's a lot of like socialist girls even who are all like revolutionary minded as far as thinking we need to overthrow the capitalistic systems and whatnot.
Yeah, but they're women,
So what?
so they'll never get it done.
No, but this revolutionary spirit sounds like a random arbitrary thing you are just deciding to define as masculinity, even though having a mindset in which you are supportive of a revolution is a commonality amongst political groups, whether they're women or men. So I don't understand even what that has to do with anything.
Let's kick it over to Ashley. We haven't heard from Ashley for a while, and I do want to be fair.
Ideological subversion.
Hold on, okay, Zherka, shut up.
You're not making any sense, my friend.
Well, let's kick it over to Ashley or Alex if you have any thoughts. We haven't heard from you for a while.
Alex, go ahead.
Okay, so it's actually a question. It goes to both you, Hunter, and you, Ashley. What is your definition of wimpy? Because I don't know if we're operating on the same definition. So I want to hear what you guys think it is.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah, I gave it at the beginning: weak, ineffectual, and cowardly. Which is why I said that if we're talking about weakness in as far as physical weakness, then yes, men are definitely weaker. If we're talking about like emotionally weaker, I think in some ways maybe not. But again, the expectation that men should be cowardly and suppress their emotions and hide from the way they're feeling is absolutely wimpy. So yeah, there's definitely still some wimpy expectations.
Okay, Ashley, do you agree with Hunter's definition? Or do you have your own?
Sure, I agree.
Okay, your definition is pretty close to the one I have. It's basically not strong, brave, or confident, right? Which is basically the same thing that you said. So we have agreed, taking the being afraid to be emotional, vulnerable thing aside, which is only a part of courage. We have agreed that men today are less confident than they used to be. Ashley, according to her own admission, finds 50% of the men not to be masculine enough for her taste. So therefore, is it really a stretch to then just say men on average are more wimpy? Not all men, but if we're doing averages, and if you agree that men are being less confident than they were, then therefore men are being more wimpy, according to your own definition.
What fucking metric are we using to measure how men are being wimpy and how they're not being wimpy? That's the thing. Like, we don't, other than the testosterone levels, which can we please, for the love of fucking God, move away from?
Well, the thing is I think this could, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like this could lead to a really,
cut me off.
I feel like this.
Hold on, but to be fair, to be fair to Ashley, what have you got, Ashley?
No, it's all good.
I've been hard on you, Ashley. I do want to apologize. I want to say.
No, I mean, Alex interrupted you as well, James, like hardcore in the beginning, and you didn't say shit. So that was kind of fucking out of left field. And I did take offense to it. And that was pretty shitty. You're a moderator. You're not in the debate. I'm just saying it did piss me off. I'm over here cooling down and collecting myself. I'm not fucking crying, but I am.
You got it. I appreciate you letting me know that. I don't remember when Alex interrupted me, but I will say Alex can attest, no joke. There was one time when Kevin Wilder, and I felt really bad about it. It was after a stream ended. I think his name is Kevin Wilder.
Yeah, I remember that day.
And I had a temper outburst on Kevin, which I said, I was like, okay, I jumped the gun on that. So maybe it's timing, because that's, I think, what it was for Kevin.
I gave James too much of my testosterone, so we're gonna scale.
But sometimes so basically, I hadn't noticed Alex had done it. Otherwise, frankly, like I've reproved Kevin Wilder, who's a guy, and so Alex, being a guy, like I don't want to discriminate based on sex. It's just that, like I said, there was one time.
He also noted
Let's
that
just
I
get
am
back
an
into the
ape,
debate.
and I should go.
I do want to say that, like, it is, I don't need sympathy points, and I don't need anybody to sit over here suck my dick, but I'm just saying, like, I'm one female versus a 4 male panel, apparently now. So
I'm not I'm not really disagreeing with you entirely.
I don't think that you're like without a partner. I think it might be that Hunter disagrees on like a subtlety, but I think generally you guys agree. And Zherka and Alex, I think there's
me and Zherka definitely disagree quite a good amount. So
it's kind of more like
it's pretty fair.
Me and Alex agree on a decent amount too. Because what I was gonna do when I interrupted a second ago,
I'm sorry. What I meant was that I'm the only female here. That's all I meant.
And I should go F myself.
Okay.
I'm doing the same things that the males are doing, but I was the only one called out, so it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair though, like I said, I was pissed and I should have said it before the stream started, that I was annoyed when you interrupted me prior to the stream starting. So when I noticed it during the stream, that was where it was like, okay, my gasket's blowing. But
my apologies, honestly, James, to that. My apologies. I'm always super respectful to you. At least I try to be. And I
just hope you know, like I said, is purely just because of the pre-stream where I was like triggered. But so I get.
And then I got triggered. My apologies.
And that's why just one last thing, and I'll let you guys. Sorry, Hunter and Alex, and
I'm sorry too.
I'm not really sorry to Zherka. That's why I made it clear to everybody where I was like, okay, that probably did look like I was kind of coming down on you because you're a woman. But like I said, it really was just because of the context thing that I explained in terms of before the stream. So, because I agree that it looks like that, and it probably looked like that to other people, and that's why I like brought it up myself. So I don't blame you for interpreting it that way. Okay.
I appreciate you, James, and I do apologize I interrupted you. I really didn't honestly even notice.
I know you didn't even notice it. So, and that's the thing. Sometimes a person's like planning to say another sentence right after what they just said, but the person interprets. So go ahead, Hunter or Alex, or was it Ashley? Were you finishing a point? I can't remember who was talking.
I'm good now. I'm totally derailed. I'm going to take a minute.
I interrupted because I wanted to. Well, wait, because I was about to have some middle ground here with Alex, which I was simply going to say.
May I join, guys? Can you hear me? May I join the therapy session with Ashley?
Okay, as long as you're not going to just make fun of somebody, I want to hear what Hunter's point was.
No, but we almost had tears there, James.
I promise, I'm not nearly as tears as you think. Go ahead, Hunter.
It's just, even if we were to go ahead and be like, okay, fine, then maybe we can kind of come to some agreement here that, yeah, men today are a little bit wimpier. Maybe they do have lower testosterone and that's contributing to that. Then that's like just the very beginning of the conversation, right? Because the next step is, okay, if we're going to say that men are wimpier nowadays, why? Why is this? You talk about men being less confident. I would not be surprised if a man is having very little luck with girls, is gravitating towards incel beliefs if he doesn't have a job and still lives with his parents while he's in his early 20s. That's a shitty place. Well, hold on, wait. That's a shitty place to be in. And now guys are having a harder and harder time achieving mobility in the economy. I mean, we see women graduating faster, etc. So, like,
because Zherka, you are fronting.
I thought I have the incel beliefs. Why do women love me? Why do women love me? I have these incel beliefs.
Because they're too afraid to tell you the truth, probably. But
what do you got,
that's
Ashley?
a conversation for another time, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the reason, the question Zherka is asking, the reason that he thinks or whatever that women are so obsessed with him is, I mean, I've heard him speak about it because I listen to people that I'm about to debate before I actually go on and debate them, Zherka.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thanks so much. You're not.
Hang in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cringe. But I think it's because he actually admits himself that he used to be this nerdy gamer dorky type that never got chicks, but then what he did is he started watching like guys like Andrew Tate and other guys that like say these like really toxic masculine things, toxic masculine, right? Where he tells the woman like, shut up, bitch, and like, I'm jealous the second I meet you, I'm jealous, and like just all this weird possessive stuff. And he kind of goes on to say that like that is his way using toxic masculinity as a weapon to essentially get girls into bed. Now, self-admittedly, he doesn't have any like serious like LTRs, and he's not looking for marriage right now. And he also says that when he is looking for marriage, it's going to be traditional, and it's basically going to be his family is going to pick his bride for him because of his ethnic background, and that's their traditions. So I would just say that like that it sounds a lot to me like he's setting himself up for failure in that genre. And he also admits to, I mean, very self-admittedly, he says things specifically just to be polarizing, just to, trigger responses and become viral. So earlier, Hunter, when you said, is this guy just a troll? Yes. Essentially, he is just a troll. The fact that he's trying to seriously debate this is incredibly humorous to me. And I'm done.
Ashley, question, are you married?
I was married for 12 years.
And what happened?
Let's keep it on the actual topic at hand.
I
Even though I'd
got
love to hear
divorced.
about everybody's
Well, no, she said
romantic
that I'm
lives.
clearly going to fail with my long term. I want to know how she failed so I avoid the failure.
Well, it depends on your definition of failure, I guess. Would failure be that you actually did something organically for 10 to 12 years and then it didn't work out? Or would failure be that you
Yeah, that
are
would be
in
the
a
definition.
Hold on,
Wasting
just to hear
12
her
years is the
actually
definition.
finish, Zherka.
or that you are actually like going through, basically an arranged marriage set up by your family, which I don't know a whole lot about, but I do. I did work with several people that were in arranged marriages. It seems typically the man still gets to kind of do what he wants to do, and the woman is like staying at
But
home.
why did you lie? You said Zherka's never had long terms. Yes, I have.
I said, as far as I could see from your content, you haven't had some serious long-term relationships.
Right.
I
right.
guess that you would have to.
All right, give me some
long-term.
advice. I want some advice. Should I be less masculine?
I don't know. It just depends on what you're looking for. What are you trying to do? Are you just trying to kind of snow women over at the bar, look around at the bar, just be any guy that you want to be?
Just
So
manipulate.
I
I just want to manipulate
and like yell at them and say,
I want to manipulate
right before they come, tell them that they're a stupid bitch. Or are you like actually looking for some kind of girlfriend? Or you even said yourself you're not good at sex. So like, I don't know. I kind of don't take guys seriously that like, it's like Myron Gaines who says the female orgasm isn't important. Like guys that say they're not good at sex. Yeah. I mean, I know you admit or you claim you made a woman come by yelling at her across a room.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, that happened. That happened.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did.
See, that's only happened to me a couple times. That's only happened to me like a few times. Man, I didn't know that was a common occurrence.
Hunter, ask your wife. I once yelled at her, right? So now check this out. Actually, what can I do to be better at sex? I want some advice since we're going in on my personal life.
Well, I mean, you're the one.
We really don't have to do this. We could go back to. I hate to interrupt you.
Oh, James, let her drown.
James,
they tried to drown me. Let her drown. Let her drown. I want to hear her advice. After her 12-year failure marriage, I want to know what's the good sex.
I don't know how.
Well, the sex was always really wonderful during that marriage. Yeah, but
even when he grabbed the ring and threw it in the ocean, was it good then?
Don't you feel like we could? I feel like
really
you never saw masculinity from rising.
Well, Zherka, I feel like if you're really horny and want some erotic stories being told to you, you can just look it up online.
I feel like your wife is literally attracted to me. Your wife is literally attracted to me, like literally.
Okay.
Everyone's attracted to you, Zherka, but we do have to move on.
Not everyone, James. You've got a subway tattoo. You're definitely above me. You're right. You're above my pay grade.
I appreciate that. That's very kind. Alex, what have you got? You look like you're in deep thought.
No, I was just waiting for this little shit show to resolve. Okay, I'll move on to I guess answering Hunter's question.
So, oh my God, she cheated on him.
What?
Okay,
Ashley
let's give Alex a chance to make his case. His argument.
No, I actually never did, Alex. I didn't.
Okay. Oh, someone said it in chat, so I thought it was true.
Oh, well, definitely then you should believe it.
Someone said that Zherka's ex said he only lasted 2 minutes in bed. in my chat.
Well, he admits
No,
he's bad
this
in
is-
bed. I mean,
I
honestly,
told you guys.
Not
bro.
on topic.
I'm
Go ahead,
telling you,
Alex.
Hunter's wife and my ex, they got so much in common. They're both disappointed in me.
All right, let's go to Alex.
You know,
Alrighty,
that was
anyway.
a good one, Zherka. Nice, man. Nice. Go ahead,
Alrighty.
Alex.
Anyway, so it seems like, Hunter, you agreed to the premise that men are a little bit more wimpy, and I appreciate you acknowledging this. Your question was why, and I want to answer this. So I wrote down some notes while you guys were talking. So I think it's a very multifaceted thing. I don't think it's just limited to testosterone. I don't think there's one answer for it. I think it's multiple things. Here are some of the things that I think contribute to that. One of the things I hear from men that I coach is that they're really worried about being put on a girl's TikTok or Instagram. They're worried about like saying something and then they're going to be called out. This is a common fear I hear over and over again. A lot of men are socializing less. They're spending more time in front of their computer instead of like actually talking to people. And I think that's making everyone recluses. And they're following weird rabbit hole ideologies that didn't have the potential to exist 20 years ago before the internet was what it was, right? Even 10 years ago. You can, reference the Social Dilemma for documentary for that. And there are literally people who believe that approaching a girl on the street will get you locked up. There's actually people who say that over and over again. They believe it. They're like, hey, I'm worried that if I go up to a girl and I say, hey, I think you're cute, I will go to jail, which obviously is pure nonsense. So I think those are some of the reasons why men are acting more wimpy today.
Sure. I mean, the thing is
really
you can
good-
you can
I'm
ask
sorry.
James. Like, I messaged him ahead of time. I was like, I mean, I kind of think that like we're on the right track as far as like telling men not to be cowardly when it comes to their feelings. But like, yeah, generally speaking, I think men kind of are still, struggling. And if we want to say that it's wimpy, then that's fine.
Really, we're on the right track. Isn't 80% of men not even sexually active? Aren't 80% of men trying to fucking kill themselves? They
Well,
live in
what I was gonna
despair.
say here is that
No,
actually, well, first of all,
you can't even get a woman like Ashley.
Zherka, you cannot talk about men killing themselves when you have just denied the existence of toxic
Exactly.
masculinity, my friend. You're denying the
Excuse me,
cause
what?
of the problem.
I
You
denied
denied.
what?
Wait, you said that toxic masculinity isn't real. Toxic masculinity is currently
No, I said
contributing
it's
to the
real and we need
suicidality.
more. I said we need more of it.
Okay, so it's
Well, what-
contributing
Hunter,
to the
I think you're
suicidality.
Hunter,
No,
you're
it's
talking about when
not.
he said that we need to go back
All
to the
male
days,
suicide
and he's
comes
talking-
from Ashley, just a sec. Let the king speak. All male suicide comes from dating women like Ashley. Like, everyone knows there's a dead end where it's like, hey, man, we're not going to make it. Marriage is not actually biblical anymore. It's just a piece of paper. We're not going to the gates of heaven
a
together.
shit
We're
show.
not going all together. And this despair fills their stomach. And that's when they start cheating and becoming like you guys, where like Hunter.
This is why you don't add anything to the
pegged.
conversation, because
get
I'm actually
pegged,
trying
right?
to take you somewhere like a logical follow through.
Okay,
And
don't
you're
take
just
me to the room where
derailing
your
into
wife
some
pegs
long
you.
trolling
Don't take
diatribe.
me to the room where your wife pegs you. Put the sword away. Go ahead, Hunter. I'll allow you to speak now. Boop.
I don't even remember. Oh yeah, that's right. You were saying that you don't think that toxic masculinity is legitimate, even as far as the expectations that could be harmful to men. So I guess I'll just go back to what I said before, which is that it's a clinical fact that suppressing emotion is detrimental to your own well-being. Men are disproportionately expected to suppress their emotions. Men also are disproportionately committing suicide. We know from surveys that thousands of men all over the West, whether we're talking about Canada, the US, Australia, the UK, have admitted to suppressing emotions for the sheer sake of looking more manly. And I'm telling you right now, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to say, hey, I'm going to contribute to the disease, but I'm also going to whine about how bad we need to
But
cure.
it's not the disease.
You're spreading the disease.
It's not the disease. And
Yes,
you have to change. You have to change it. The disease comes from the fact that men are surrounded by hoes. They know they're not getting married. They know they're growing old and alone. Whether they have $1 million or $100 million, their wife is not a virgin.
Also is that there are more men now who are still living at home right now. Those are the men having the least amount of sex, which again goes back to what I was just saying. I'm not surprised.
And if they were more
if your
masculine,
confidence
would
is
they
lower,
have-
if your
would they
confidence
get
is
women?
lower, yeah, how are you going to go out and get a job? How are you going to have sex with a girl when you're living at home with your parents?
Okay, first of all, testosterone is the number one correlating factor to success. So saying like, well, maybe it's not.
The most bullshit.
Yeah,
thing
that's
I've
not a
ever
true
heard in my
statistic.
life.
What? Look
You
at the
are so
difference
full
from
of
men and
shit.
women.
Provide
Okay.
a statistic.
Wait,
Ashley,
just if
help me
there's
out.
a difference doesn't mean you get to
Ashley,
just
Ashley,
claim
help
it's
me out.
all
No, you're
testosterone.
horrible. Honestly, you're
Ashley,
horrible.
help me out. Help me out. Just
at
destroy
things.
me.
You don't know your stats. You are fucking misogynistic. You just say things
Wait,
specifically to
hold
trigger
on.
because
Send me your tears so I can drink them on stream, okay?
Wait,
Hit
hold on,
my PO
Zherka.
box.
I thought
And
we were
wait,
just
hold on,
talking.
hold on.
Wait. No,
Actually,
because here you
Oh,
are.
hear
Wait,
me,
stop.
blood.
Because you're over here
Hunter,
whining
Hunter.
about. Shh, be quiet.
No,
You're over
Hunter's
here.
wife.
Shh,
Get out of the.
be quiet.
Get out of there.
You're
Get out of
whining
there.
Hear
about.
from Hunter.
Hunter,
Have we-
your wife's here. You're double teaming me, bro.
Have we not heard this whole time about how testosterone levels are going down? Testosterone levels are going down. Why are we seeing more and more men who are more and more successful? We didn't have billionaires back then. We have people that are
Really?
making more and more money nowadays.
Be-
More and more
so, whoa, whoa,
successful
whoa, whoa.
nowadays.
So making 100 million with crypto and some fucking NFT, but being an incel loser who's got no fucking woman, no family, that's successful.
No, but I'm saying that we're also
Well,
seeing
that's who you're talking about. You're talking
No,
about.
I'm not.
those
I'm talking
nerds.
about
You're
people
talking
like
about those nerds. Yeah, you are.
Musk, Bezos. We have people who are younger. I would have to look up the youngest, I guess, youngest millionaire.
Can we
just
hear
making
from
stuff up.
Alex more?
But like,
This guy's
there's a lot of
stupid.
successful men right now.
Like,
who
you
think
guys-
also, I thought, are a
I
product
think I
of
can.
this
I
lower
think I can.
testosterone.
I think I can bridge the gap. Honestly,
Thank you.
Zherka, the first time we had a discussion, I think you told me, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're not a fan of the stigma that exists for men to get mental health help. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, my twin brother is a therapist, and he told me there are actual liberal therapists who you pay them a bunch of money and they give you a liberal advice. They say sometimes you just gotta pat yourself on the back. And so he has a master's degree, and he said it's very scary when choosing a therapist. If you go to someone who's completely blue pill and stuff like that, you're getting scammed to oblivion.
Okay,
So
but
I
assuming
said-
you,
You should
assuming
go
you
to
don't
somebody
go to
like Zherka.
assuming you
instead.
don't go to someone who's blue pill, assuming you go to a therapist like your brother or someone who's competent in what they're doing, then you would not be a fan of the stigma that would exist for men to go see someone like that if they're struggling, right?
I let's just go back to the example of, do you tell your wife you lost your job and cry like a bitch in front of her?
Wait,
I don't think it
yeah,
works.
wait,
I think
hold
she'll
on.
be drier
If
than
you
the
lose
Sahara.
your
She'll
job,
be
you
drier
better
than
damn
Hunter's
well
wife.
tell your wife that. And if you are gonna choose to keep it a
You can
secret,
tell her Hunter, you're giving young men the advice of, yeah, you can cry in front of her because you lost a job.
No. My advice is that, hey,
No,
if
you
you're
already doubled down on that.
If you're
Hold on.
in a marriage, okay, you should be able to be vulnerable with your partner. Yeah. If you lose your job and you get emotional talking about it, your partner
Okay,
of all
then why-
people.
then
Wait,
what's
just shut
then-
the fuck up, please.
Then
if
explain
your partner of all
explain
people,
the divorce rate.
Hunter is
Can you
right. We have to give him a chance. I appreciate your energy and your passion, Zherka, but we do have to give Hunter a chance to finish the point.
Okay,
But you
Gyno.
appreciate his energy and passion.
Your partner of all people should be the one who you can confide in and can be vulnerable with. Again, it's not,
I
hold
lost
on,
100
it's not
million
about
followers.
crying all the time. It's not about breaking down about every single thing. It's about having emotional intelligence, okay? That's all. It's just recognizing the situation and acting appropriately. If you're home alone, it's a late night, and you're feeling emotional and you lost your job, well, the time might be appropriate to be vulnerable. And if you feel that you can't be vulnerable with your partner, then you're in a fucking loser marriage, dude. You're in a toxic relationship. You're probably getting cucked also.
But we
Let
can
me
bridge the gap.
unmute
Can we
you.
agree that maybe there's that most things about masculinity are good, but maybe there's like at least one thing that's like probably not the best. Like I think that Zherka, you do agree that the stigma against therapy isn't a good thing, assuming this therapist is competent. So I think the point that Hunter's making is that, hey, listen, if there's a stigma, then that would technically be part of toxic masculinity, right? Even though that
Yeah, but
dies. But that's still the point is that that's like one thing that's a traditional.
no, he's still running from it. He's still running from it. Where Alex,
What
the
am I running from?
idea, like when you look at the divorce rate and how high it is, the idea that everyone is this blue pill zoomer, Hunter, Avalon kind of has like this like trans identity going on or whatever he's got going on. Everyone's like this, and everyone has problems with their wife or their fiance or their girlfriend. Everyone is breaking up, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all going, honey, I lost my job, and crying. But then you have these toxic types like me. And when's the last time anyone left in, like, when's the last
First of
time
all,
I got dumped? Because check
first
this
and
out.
foremost, wait, no.
hold
You
on,
not
hold on.
getting
I have a
dumped because
great
some woman is
example of why
terrified
your
of being
wife
thrown
fucking-
across the
Here's why
room
your
by
wife
you
fucking-
does not
let's
actually
just
speak.
make sure let's
Okay.
hear the
There-
last
there-
little bit from Zherka, and then we'll go to you, Hunter.
I was just going to acknowledge, like, Zherka, there's an element of truth to what you're saying. Like, there was a study that came out that showed that men who have traditional gender roles are having more sex than men who are not, right? So what you're saying is generally backed up by science and some.
No, it just
But-
depends fully on what study you're talking about. Was this one on
It-
benevolent sexism?
I don't remember. It's an older one though. It was from France too. It was a European study. But they looked at like tens of thousands of couples. But
France is gay.
The point is, the point is, sure, I agree with you on that point. But then, like, going back to the therapy thing, like on that one, you do have to like kind of agree that that's like unfortunate.
Yeah. Talking to your therapist about losing your job is way more beneficial than drying up your wife till she cheats on you with a BBC. Do you know how big a black guy's cock can be?
Okay, so second time of you saying something gay now. That's very cute. Can we go back to what a second ago? So you're talking a lot about how marriages aren't working out and whatnot, but again, you're saying there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, or if there is, that there's not enough of it. You realize that a big reason why divorce happens and why women initiate it is because their emotional needs are not being met. Men lack.
Really?
Yes,
like Steven Crowder's wife?
Because men lack emotional intelligence, because they don't even know how to navigate their own emotions, because their whole life they've been told by dumb fucks like you that shedding a single tear at their mom's funeral means their crush won't ever like them back.
I didn't say funeral.
Okay,
I said
so
job.
a lot of the
time, look how you change it.
No, a lot of the times I'm being hyperbolic,
dude.
Hey, I'm being hyperbolic. Okay, can you if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, troll. All right.
No, that's evil. You
can't
know,
take the heat, get out of the kitchen, troll. All right.
If someone dies, they can cry, but like maybe don't like go overboard where you get pegged like Hunter and his wife. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is again,
pegged,
hold on. All I'm saying is again, you are contributing to the problem and then complaining about the problem. You can't do both. Pick one.
No, you're talking to Alex and me. That's why you think it's contradictory, you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I'm saying there's not enough of it. My position isn't with Alex. Like, I don't believe what Alex believes.
I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought. Go ahead. Then maybe I wasn't clear there at the last.
Well, I think you do agree with me about the therapy thing, though. I think we are in agreement on that.
Well, no. What I was getting at with I think we're all in agreement with that. What I was getting at with Zherka though is just simply that if you're talking about like men killing themselves or men getting divorced and stuff like this. Talking about how we need to have.
Let's go back to that.
Yeah, talking about how men need to have more stoicism and more of these toxic expectations need to be enforced.
No, they don't need stoicism. They need pettiness. They need to be more jealous. They need to be more like me, less like you, right? I bet that sword goes soft when you hold it. You just look weak. But let me finish. Don't interrupt.
Pettiness?
Don't interrupt. Hold on. Yes, more pettiness, right? Like a real man. So now stoicism, that's just fucking gay, bro. Now listen. My problem is you think that the male suicide rate has something to do with men suppressing their emotions because you read one fucking dumb liberal think tank study. Like a fucking retard.
I like how you just accepted the study that agreed with you a second ago.
One in the chat if you agree, all male suicide is the fault of women. Women have failed. Men feel despair. They're like, oh, I'm not having a family. And if I am, we're having a divorce and the statistics are against me and she's going to take half my wealth and blah, blah, blah. It's all from despair. The fact that you think suppressing your emotions is why they're fucking killing themselves is just fucking.
No, it's a lack of expressing emotion. If you don't know how to express. If you don't know how to express your emotions and you don't know how to deal with what you're feeling, then yeah, it makes it way more likely that if you're partaking in that kind of a coping mechanism, that you're going to commit suicide. Yeah, absolutely.
I will agree for a while. I'll go right back to you, Alex. But just because we haven't heard from Ashley for a while, go ahead, Ashley.
No. I just wanted you to unmute me. I'm listening.
What the fuck, Ashley? Just speak. We're back on you.
Go ahead, Alex. What you got?
She needs a pep talk, James.
I probably have like a middle position on this between Hunter and Zherka, but I mean, I do think that yes, like there are for sure cases where men suppress their emotions and that leads to their downfall. I can totally imagine that, and I think I've heard even anecdotal stories.
Yeah, what percentage, Alex, of Hunter's cases?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Where I'm more with you. I don't think that's the biggest reason for why men commit suicide. Right? I think probably the biggest reason why men will commit suicide is despair. Is despair. I will agree with you.
Yes.
And how men and women choose to, not even what causes it, but how men and women choose to act on that despair also is different.
Look at him trying to frame it. Look at him trying to frame it like the little weasel you are. Go ahead, little weasel.
Frame it.
Okay, so
it's actually
a lot of dumb fucks like you, Zherka, have this. Well, Zherka, you have this very strange idea that if something is nuanced or complicated, and it kind of goes
Why is
over
everything nuanced to you people? Suicide
when it goes,
is nuanced? Suicide, you're saying, is nuanced?
Yes. Why somebody commits suicide is a nuanced issue. Is this
Really?
Zherka's first
He also
baby
noted that
steps
I
in the
used-
real
Hold on,
world?
hold on.
Wow,
If you-
congratulations.
Hold on,
Dude,
Hunter. let
how
me
do you
ask
try to
you
be a
question.
troll and you end up
Hunter,
just looking
hang
like a
in there.
fucking idiot the whole
Take
time?
the dildo out your ass.
Holy
If you
shit, this is
blanket
embarrassing
all-
for you.
If you hold on, Hunter, if you blanket all male suicide with the word despair, is that fair?
Well, they would all have despair, would they not? But why do they have that
that's
despair?
pretty black and white, you fucking idiot. Like, use your
But-
fucking
Well,
brain.
like,
Where's the
who
nuance
wouldn't-
there? Where's
But
the
why
nuance
would they
there?
have that?
Well, actually,
Despair.
there's more
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
There's
That's-
more things.
that is a
His mom
blanket-
didn't text him back. And Ashley,
Zherka.
Ashley, don't-
Wait, what is the
Ashley,
point
how
you're
many
trying to make right now?
Despair.
how many chromosomes is
Despair.
Ashley at?
What? Wait, can Zherka please explain what the point is he just made? If you say
No.
it's
You
despair,
made my point for me that if you can blanket a whole demographic of people, you just hang on a
down.
sec. Nice and easy. If you can blanket them whole with one category of despair, you made my point for me, you idiot. That
Yeah,
it
but
is
Zherka-
black and white. There's no nuance in the word despair. You're gonna add it like
Yeah,
actually his
no,
mom didn't
what?
text him back. He's
What?
suppressing emotions.
What?
2% of them
wait, a
suppress their
degree
emotions.
of which the
Literally,
the
what?
the degree by which you have the despair to initiate
L for
suicide
you.
is going to vastly vary.
I gotta kick
Wait,
it over
Zherka,
to
can
Ashley
you-
and
How are
Alex.
you so... Alex,
I
I'm
gotta
sorry
kick
that you
it
have to be
over
on a
to
team
I was
like
just
that,
gonna
my
ask a
friend.
question
Just to
real
make sure that we
quick.
get over it. Go ahead and Alex.
Oh, I was just gonna say this, Zherka, but can you agree that like two people could experience the same amount of despair? One of them might kill themselves, and one of them might not, based on how they deal with it. Like someone can deal with it way better than another. So I think that's the point that Hunter's trying to make, is that of course, yeah, despair is a huge part of it, but some people deal with despair in such a way that they get through it, and some people deal with despair in a way that they kill themselves.
Ashley, any thoughts?
Yeah, Zherka, can you not admit that you're just literally trolling and saying the most like just absurd things for clicks and giggles, and like for the incels out there that you're just like, oh yeah, even look and say what I want, but you have absolutely zero evidence to back any of it up, because that's honestly what I'm seeing. Like you're just sensational.
You're literally giving the I lost speech. Well, you must be a troll since I'm getting destroyed with the word
No,
despair.
you are. Your entire fucking
You haven't made
demeanor and
one
everything
point
you've
today.
said tonight.
Ashley, the only good point you made, the only good point we ever even talked about is that the dude after 12 years left you, right? But I'm telling you, everyone calls me a
Exactly. So
troll
here
when
we
they're
go.
losing. Challenge the argument.
You're
Challenge the
using ad
argument.
hominem
Don't
attacks.
challenge the
You're just
troll.
being
Challenge the
bad faith.
argument.
You
So,
have,
right,
you have
I
A big
absolutely-
reason
You're the
why
one who said
men...
I've never been in long term. I guess girls can't stand
I said that as far as I could tell from watching your content, I haven't seen a seriously long-term relationship
Sure.
from you.
Yeah.
And
And-
I've watched you yourself say that that's not really your goal right now. That your goal is just to kind
Actually,
of
attack the argument.
not-
Why don't you attack the argument? Is all
Why
male
don't you
suicide?
stay
Does
on
all
fucking
male
point?
suicide come
How
from?
about...
Do you agree that all male suicide comes from despair? The fact that they feel alone in the world.
I think that is a very fucking stupid as hell argument. Yes, most things come from despair, most negative things, right? Any bad feelings of myself, any thoughts of harming myself or others, yes, it
I said
comes from
loneliness.
despair.
Just
May
I
I
said
finish?
loneliness.
Am I still
Not
muted?
asked me
until
a
I give you.
fucking
I'll give you
question.
permission in a second. I said from loneliness. You agree?
No, you said from despair.
Yeah, despair from being alone. That they're gonna end up alone. Try and download.
What is
No,
this
you
guy
added that
doing right
later,
now?
as
What is
I
he
did for
fucking
your
getting
first
at?
Let's
question.
kick it back over to Alex and Hunter.
Yikes.
Idiot.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Let's see if Hunter and Alex, do you have a lot of disagreement
I'm still
between
muted.
each other?
I can't
I think
unmute.
the only
Sorry, Hunter.
I think we only disagree when it comes to degree. I think Hunter primarily thinks that correct me if I'm wrong, that the main reason for like all the issues that we have is because men are incapable of processing emotions. And I would say that's part of the issue, but I would say that it's not the main issue. I think that's where we agree about the problem, we agree about what's going on, we just disagree about the degree.
Okay.
And I guess there's no way I can like scientifically prove that. I mean, that's kind of more like we're just gonna go off anecdotal experience.
Well, it's this interesting because we were talking a little bit about the suicide and whatnot, and Zherka was bringing up the despair thing. But like, so a big reason why men actually commit suicide disproportionately is not even that they are necessarily disproportionately suffering from mental illness. So this really interesting statistic, 60% of American males who died by suicide had no history of mental health issues. And so the reason that men are leading in suicidality is actually because of a lack of emotional regulation, and men are more impulsive. So women might be better at
And money.
processing. Right, women might be better at processing the problem, right, and trying to work through it. Whereas men, if they feel there's no way out, they're more impulsive. They're gonna fucking take the trigger and be done with it.
But
So-
Hunter, I don't know if that's true because women try to kill themselves just as much as men. The big difference is that men typically succeed at it and women typically don't. So I don't. You'd have to say
No,
that.
it's not just as much, Alex. It's more attempts.
Oh, women. So okay. So if women are
Yeah.
more, if
No, I'm
women are
just
more,
saying, I wanted to.
if-
I'm not
okay.
saying why.
No, I
I'm
appreciate
just,
you clear. I appreciate you clearing
yeah,
up.
I know.
yeah,
If
but the
if
reason
women
I
are
did that
more
as a friend,
suicidal,
not-
if women are more suicidal, right, then that would kind of dismiss that whole thing that men about right. It just seems that men typically are
no, because the reason they're committing suicide is going to be very different. So, like women, for example, might be committing suicide because of struggles in regards to body image,
They
which is far
don't.
more
They
something
literally don't.
which is something
Women
that's
don't
far
commit
more
suicide.
difficult for women than it is for men.
Are we gonna talk about
what I'm getting at
dragons
though is
too?
that
'Cause
what I'm
you're
getting
just
at
making
though
shit up.
hold on, wait. What I'm getting at though is ultimately that the lack of emotional regulation leads to higher rates of impulsivity. So whether men are committing suicide at higher rates than women or not, men are committing suicide at high rates. We don't want men to kill themselves. So therefore, if we want men to have better emotional regulation and less impulsivity, therefore be less likely to kill themselves, we should be able to contend with this issue here.
Yeah, and Zherka, I'm sorry, I do have a point, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Thank you, Zherka. I appreciate that. You're almighty king. But I will say that, like, I think that part of it, and this is kind of where again, I'm friends with Alex. Like, I watch a lot of his content. I like his content, and I'm a supporter of it for most of the. I think that you've represented yourself well tonight, Alex. Blah blah blah. So I'm confident saying
A
that.
star for Alex.
Yeah, Zherka, you're a fucking piece of shit troll. But what I'll say for this is that, like, Alex and people like him, not all PUAs, because a lot of pickup artists and dating coaches and that and the other that I found in the space tend to be kind of toxic. But one thing that Alex promotes, and Zherka, this is kind of it's all gonna come together because
Hopefully.
Alex, I'm sorry.
I said hopefully it all comes together, right? We're taking a long way home.
Are you done?
Oh yeah. Mine's
Oh,
short
okay.
and sweet.
Oh, you aren't done. Sorry, you're not. Are you? Can I
Bring it
talk?
home, Ashley.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, thank
Zherka,
you.
let her
Thank you.
finish.
Okay, so one thing I will say is that one thing Alex actually contributes to things that I've seen in the male genre, the male space, is that he advocates for men talking about how they feel, men talking about why they feel the way they do, the things that are actually affecting them emotionally as well as physically, et cetera, et cetera. And even when he brought up testosterone earlier, right? Like, he was bringing it up as a way that, like, hey, we need to have better diets, we need to exercise more. These are all positive things. And these are the kind of men that I can get on board with. These are the kind of men that, like, me as a feminist, I can be like, you know what? Like, he's right. Like, men
Feminist?
do.
You're a feminist?
May I finish?
Ew.
Let's hear the rest from
kinda
Ashley.
gross.
I'll give you
That's
another
gross.
30 seconds, Ashley, then we're going to move to
I'm literally gonna puke.
anyone but John.
I'm sorry, I can't hear myself.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. So when I hear men like Alex and others, which I haven't really found many that in the kind of manosphere type space, which is where I discovered Zherka, I actually respect that because they are going for things that are actually productive and healthy and good, and they have a well balanced kind of sense of right and wrong and how we can fix this. Now, even if I might disagree with this person on, you know, some kind of tiny little point here and there, I can honestly say that this is not a toxic, horrible human. People like Zherka are just toxic, and they're out there honestly just trying to get clicks, views, and likes because of the shit that they say. And that's where I just can't get on board. And I think that he contributes to the problem. And that was the point I wanted to make about, I guess, specifically the manosphere, since two of the people on the panel are directly from the manosphere. I thought it was relevant. Thank you.
Any other thoughts from
I appreciate the kind words.
Appreciate the kind words too. I just didn't think it would take an hour and a half to build on that premise. Like, I'm glad you got it done, Ashley. But you could next time just say Zherka's a misogynist pig. You don't have to do that whole like
I don't think you are. I
Steve.
think you're a phony and a fake. I think that you pretend to be a misogynist pig.
That's-
But
you took an
truly,
hour to
you're
admit
just a closeted incel
Yo, this
that
feminist.
uses that as a way to get laid. Honestly, that's what I think. You
You took-
use it
hey,
as a way to
Ashley.
play a character
Ashley,
online,
I'm not your ex-husband.
self-admittedly.
I'm not your
But in
ex-husband.
reality, you're super insecure and you're kind of overweight. You've got a dad bod and a little pudgy
Yeah.
belly, and you're just
Thank
kind of
you.
icky.
Thank you.
And,
Ho, ho,
and
ho.
you admit that you're bad in bed. So like these are the ways that you use. These are
Yeah.
the things you do and say in order to get laid. Like that's what I.
You know what's funny?
If you
It took
really
you an
wanna know,
hour. It took you an hour to admit you can't battle the arguments and that you've lost and you're triggered. And
right,
I'm like,
you're so
why
right.
are you
Yeah,
triggered?
because you
Ashley,
started by saying.
Ashley,
Yeah.
why are you mad?
Okay.
There's a man who spent 12 years
I'm done.
with you.
Hey,
There's a man
Zherka.
out there who spent 12 years with you. There's people who are rightfully angry that they
Zherka.
wasted their time.
Hey,
Right?
Zherka. Is it true?
Hit me.
Did BX Bullet really sniff your boxers?
Yes, she did.
Okay. I just
No.
wanted to know.
That's a friend. That's a friend.
That's a prank. Oh, it was a prank. Okay.
No,
Cool.
I said it's a friend. Like, let's be honest.
Oh, a
guys.
friend.
I'm not like you guys.
Okay.
I'm not like you guys who are like, I hide my flaws on the internet to look like Ashley. Like, hey, I had a 12-year marriage, but it didn't work, and now I'm gonna give feminazi advice. I give you guys my flaws. I even tell you the girls that I've been with. That's how transparent I am. But I'm telling
Incredible.
you guys are not making arguments for your side.
Well, the
you
thing is
conceded-
I tried to
hold
talk-
on. Hunter, you guys conceded that men have become wimpier. Thank you, I guess. And now you guys just got to admit that you kind of enjoy this. You want to fit in with your little beta males, right? You actually want to play your little you guys play, you probably play checkers, not chess. You guys just don't have the IQ. But I'm saying, like, you guys want this soy world. Alex kind of doesn't, and I can't live in your world. You guys are going to hang me. I can't let
It's
you
just
guys
weird
have
that you talk about how you're a big, tough Sigma
Are you saying that
alpha.
because I'm half black?
I said it's kind of weird how you talk about yourself like you're a big, tough Sigma alpha male because you're open about your flaws, but yet I was open about my flaws and you called me a traitor.
Hold on.
Remember, you called me Judas for leaving the right when I was open about my flaws. So it seems as though you're fine with flaws as long. No, it sounds as hold on, wait.
Give us the reason right now on record. Why did you leave the right?
There was not one reason why. There were multiple reasons. One of them being that the right wing prioritizes conserving. One reason being that the right wing aims to conserve tradition, even if it's at the expense of other people's rights. For example, conserving traditional marriage is more valuable to them than allowing for gay people to have their rights, their 14th Amendment rights, be respected.
You're gay?
That's just one reason why, though. If you want me to give you some other ones, I can. But I don't know why you're so desperate to try to get me in a trap, and you failed every time. And it's not
very a trap, dude. No, dude, you were born in a trap. Okay, you don't have the DNA for debate.
I think that Zherka, I think that you are someone who is very unintelligent, and I think that you come on and do things like this because it's polarizing.
Don't cry, Ashley. Hold the tears in. Suppress it.
I am. I'm doing a good job of that.
Embrace your toxic masculinity.
I want to cry tonight, to be honest. Not you. You're irrelevant to me. But I do think that you, honestly, truly, like you have huge insecurities, and you also have these idealizations.
Maybe my insecurities come.
I'm talking. Do you know how to let anyone else talk? Like
I just got bored.
I'm just
my bad.
I know.
I got
here,
bored. All right, go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to do this. I appreciate it, so that you can actually come back at me. But I think that you are an incredibly toxic.
Fast forward.
And you do this as a way simply to try to A, get laid, B, become kind of polarizing on the internet, C, get likes, views and follows. And
yes,
D, here's the right, and you're doing a good job. Proud of you. Kudos.
Okay.
But here's the thing is that you are attracting the type of male that honestly believes the shit and rhetoric you're saying when you're just playing a character. You are playing a character online. Like, in all honesty, you're just a big fucking nerd who never got laid until he was 20, and now here you are being like, I go into bars and using your internet clout because you got some overnight fame being an Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines type, right? I was around before them. Yeah, but nobody fucking heard of you before them. Why do you think that is? You are a loser. That's the whole thing. And you're getting off on making this this whole thing that you actually have something to say, when the truth is Here's what you are, Zherka.
Wrap it up. Let's go.
I'm going to continue to say these
Wrap it
triggering
up,
statements
Ashley.
that everyone knows isn't true because I know that they get likes and views, and I'm going to get laid because of it. And here I am coming on a debate panel completely unprepared, seemingly
Good night,
possibly
Ashley.
drunk. I don't know, unless this is your normal self. I've seen you actually be way more calibrated than this. It seems like you didn't take tonight very seriously. It seems like you're just kind of really super.
Ashley, tonight I'm having.
I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
Tonight I'm having a
Don't blame me,
beer with
Alex.
your. Tonight I'm having a beer with your 12-year long ex-husband. Tonight we drink to your bones because you're gonna die alone with this attitude. I'm trying to help you. You're gonna die alone.
Well, you're gonna die with a
You're being a
mail order bride that your
feminazi.
parents
You're a
got for
feminazi.
you.
You're like
Well,
Zeke Isle and all that
you
stuff.
don't
You're a
want that
Nazi. You're a
because
feminist.
You know that the sex and relationship won't be good. So you're very pathetic. You're honestly way more pathetic than me. At least I lived.
What did
to
your
choose.
ex-husband look like? Did he look like
Why
me?
does that matter? Why do you care? I'm not going to dox my family and talk about them.
No, but did he look like me?
Fuck no. You admit
That's
you
right.
admit
That's
actually
right.
you admit that
That's
you're not
right.
very good looking. You admit that you're not, and you aren't.
I do it so you guys don't harm yourselves.
Okie dokie.
This might be a good opportunity to go into the Q&A. We're going to move fast. Do want to remind you folks a couple of things. One, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We have many more juicy debates coming up.
I
And
won't be
thanks-
participating in them, but
Oh, you're rage
You got
quitting.
it. We're going to
'cause
jump
of me?
into the Q&A.
She's
So,
rage quitting. Yo,
thank
how
you
can
very much
run-
for your
I'm not
question.
rage quitting.
All right.
I'm going to be
We're
here
moving
till
to
the
the
end,
next
my,
one.
my guy.
This one from Malavia says, John, you're a failed comedian. Enough with the shtick. More people in this country go to the gym than at any other time in human history. I don't know
Okay,
if
chatter. You're right. I would trade lives with you.
this
I
one
don't blame you.
coming in from Von Zoom says, much love, modern day debate. As an Army vet, John is correct on different physical standards. It's corporate America brainwashing people for profit.
Base.
I would agree with that largely too.
Any thoughts, anyone else?
Nope, no thoughts.
We're good.
By the way,
Actually,
Von Zoom,
give
thanks for
these two
serving. Hold on,
give
shut
them an
up.
HP
Will you
potion.
Shut up. Von Zoom, thanks for serving in our military. We do appreciate that. All right, Zherka,
Yes,
what
thank you.
insightful
Thank you
comments
for
did you
going
want
to
to
the
make?
military.
What? Okay, whatever. Von Zoom.
Can we thank
says,
the Army
question
man for the
no,
United
I give you a
Corporations
chance.
of
They
the
say,
USA?
question for Hunter. Would you agree that toxic masculinity is a marketing ploy?
Is a No, I don't know what that even. I don't even know what that means exactly. How would it be
Yeah, you
How would it be a marketing ploy?
Juicy.
Like
This one coming from Thunderstorm says, stop eating soy. Alex, you been eating soy?
Yes.
This
I
one
have.
from-
I haven't
There are
eaten.
studies out there. That
I haven't
show
eaten
that
soy in a
does-
decade. Soy is horrible for you as a man. I haven't eaten soy in like.
Well,
I
there
eat
are
a bunch of
studies
soy every day, and I think of
Thank
Zherka
you,
while doing
Hunter.
it.
We know, but Ashley,
That
what do
is
you
not. It's not actually. There's actually studies out there refuting that soy increases your estrogen levels as men. That's anyway. It's a good
This
source
one?
of protein. Plant protein is good.
What you guys got to do to
It's
increase
also,
your
just as a
masculinity-
complete side note, it's also like dominated by one company, Monsanto, which are like horrible, the worst fucking.
Okay,
company.
that
And they like are just guilty of so much shady shit. So either
I
way,
did watch that documentary.
And
It was very good.
Monsanto, you know what's funny is Monsanto, just like every other billion-dollar corporation industry,
No one believes
NGO,
anything you say anymore.
all of them, what they all have in common is they're all liberal.
Yeah, what
That's you guys. You guys are with
actually,
the big
I don't think the
corporations.
companies are liberal or conservative. They just want to. Make
Oh,
us
really? They don't
possible.
change their profile picture to the LGBT
God,
flag.
Zherka,
Really?
But that's
Are you
because
You are
kidding me,
so
Alex? Are you
Zherka, but that's
kidding me?
because it makes them more money. They don't actually care about that. They just want the money.
That's my point. Is their side is evil with the corporations.
Right, but they just know that being liberal is going to get you more money.
So they're not all money. That they're not all liberal and evil. Because I mean, haven't you even heard people talk about how much Disney, for example, donates to like anti-LGBT politicians or whatnot?
Really?
This notion that just because like they had a trans person on their Twitter account during Pride Month, like it means that somehow the liberal agenda is taking everything over is just not
That's what I'm
true.
saying. It's not about.
Hunter,
It's not about principles. It's all about making as much money as possible.
Hunter, you're trying to
about
combat
principles.
Zherka with things that are called facts and actual research, and he doesn't have them. All he has are trigger statements. And
I'm pretty sure
Actually,
Zherka's just
actually,
getting
you
off
live in
on
a-
everybody who
actually,
gets
you-
mad at
actually,
his
you live
bullshit.
in a-
exactly.
Actually, you live in a closet. Look at my swimming pool though. That's some
Yeah,
failed
that
comedian. money.
you share a house with a lot of other men.
Where are they?
We
I heard
invited
you
like
say
the
that,
we invited
There's
like the
nobody
frat
here,
boy.
Ashley.
We have
There's
the
nobody
frat boy
No,
here.
you said it the other day. It's on stream. Like
Oh,
you
yo,
share
Ashley's
a house with other
ex-husband.
people who are
Ashley,
creators.
it's your ex-husband. He's here.
I highly doubt that. All right,
I-
let's go to the next one. Von Zoom says, question for Ashley. You say, why are women, or in particular, why are you as a woman telling men how to be men when you don't have the perspective of being a man?
Well, here's why, because I was asked to come on this panel and debate are men becoming more feminine or wimpy nowadays. And so I agreed because I enjoy a good debate. And I think that as a society, men and women both equally share a part in how that goes forward. Do we not? Do we not? So as a
Yes.
woman, I was asked to come here today and I was asked to give my point of view on this. And that's what I'm fucking doing. That's why. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
do. To be fair to Ashley, I want to give credit because one, it is true that Ashley's speaking on this because I invited her. So you might think like, but how, she should have turned it down. And I would say, no, she shouldn't have, because one, I actually like it when people who are like not of the conventional, like who you'd expect being in the debate are actually in the debate. So for example, sometimes we have Canadians debating on whether or not the United States has good gun control. Like, I like that. Because you're like, whoa, we should just have Americans. It's like, why does it just have to be Americans? So to be fair that way, so I also have to say, Ashley has come into the lion's den tonight. So I do appreciate that, Ashley, because it is.
She got butchered.
There are some people out there are hostile. And so in the live chat, I do want to remind you not to attack the guests, as we do appreciate
It's all
them.
good.
Can I
Can I
Give
do
her
it after
HP
stream
potion.
tonight?
Someone, Ashley,
I
give her
also-
HP
Can
potion.
Can I quickly read a
Coming
comment
from-
I wrote for my chat? I
Because
think it's a good one.
Yes. What have you got?
I was just gonna say.
I'm sorry. There's so many people talking at once.
Go ahead, Ashley. You can finish. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, James, I'm sorry. Like I honestly like.
Oh,
I
here we
totally
go with the
got thrown
apology
off.
tour.
Hold on, but Zherka,
Give it
for
a
real,
rest.
because I have to be fair. Like, Ashley, I was really hard on you. I do want to say this publicly because
I took it really hard, and
it's fair. Oh, sorry.
it hit me. It hit me bad, and like it kind of ruined my whole debate dynamic from there on out. I just felt like the
That's why
chastised
you
kid-
lost?
All right, I've got John on mute. I hear you,
it
Ashley.
just kind of did kind of like, I don't know, just kind of ruined my whole like dynamic, and I shouldn't have let it. And it's a good experience though, because like for me, like I know that I need to be able to come back from this. I've gone through a lot of shit in the last few days in my personal life, and like, so I just not on my A game. But anyway, James, like,
No,
I don't
totally.
know. I just hope we're cool, because like,
No, we're totally
I'm
cool. Sorry
sorry,
for interrupting you. I just wanted to say, if I could go back, what I would not have said is because this is where I was like, I put extra sauce on it when I said like, I don't know how you could be so self-aware. I'm really sorry. That was me.
I
just
felt
being
really
cranky.
attacked.
And you're right. Like, I went beyond what I should have said. One reason that I'm like extra triggered tonight, and I should have said it before we went live. I should have just called you out then. And then it wouldn't have happened during the live stream. But the other thing is, no joke, during this debate, I've been like handling someone wanting to like get into legal stuff on modern day debate. In other words, like after me, potentially. So that's why I'm like especially stressed. Although Alex can tell you.
My sister died 3 days ago.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So for me, like I'm going through some shit right now, like honestly, and like I no, just to be fair too, like I'm not on my A game. Perhaps I should not have come on tonight, but like I was looking forward to it. So like everything that's been happening, I'm just like really just maybe I shouldn't have come on tonight. Like this is pretty, but when you said that, it like, because you and I talk so much, I was like, oh shit, like I just felt the world coming down on me, and I was like, fuck, like.
I promise. No. Like I said, I've just been under stress. One time I told Daniel Hakikachu, a popular Muslim debater we have on, I like told him, I basically told him in front of everybody during the debate that he was losing the debate. So like sometimes I go too far, and I'm sorry about that. So we're cool. This one coming in from
Oh, wait,
Coffee
can
Lover.
I read the thing that I was going to say real quick, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is just addressing the earlier point, but okay, it's going to seem like very out of context now. Fuck it. Big corporations are all about maximizing profit. Right now, there's more money in playing into the Vogue theme. That's the day that changes. These companies will completely abandon what they're saying now and become conservative. So it's all about money. It has nothing to do with principles. So that's the only thing I was going to say. All right, keep going.
You got it. Any thoughts on that? Anybody else? Okay, this one coming in from, do appreciate it. Coffee Lover says Von Zoom. Oh, they're responding to the person who originally said, "Why is Ashley as a woman, telling men how to behave?" And the Coffee Lover in a super chat responded to Von Zoom and said, "Why are men telling women how to be women when men have no perspective of that?" In other words, I think they were saying like, why are you trying to pressure Ashley? So it's kind of like that old like, are you being judgmental by calling someone anyway? Not you. It's a bad. Aussie and Talk says suicide rates dropped from 1950 to 2000. Why is this?
I would have to look at the stats about that. I thought that the suicide rates had like some fluctuation. I didn't think that there was a large decrease, but I
don't think there is. When did he say the suicide rate decreased?
Into the 2000s.
If it is, it's extremely minor, not substantial. As far as
I would think that I don't know. My best guess would be that mental health care and awareness has been made more prevalent and accessible. That would be my best guess.
We had a massive like rise in suicides, I believe, in like the 50s or 60s. Don't quote me on that, but one of those. And then there's something that happened like in the 70s or 80s where they started going down. But then it kind of did one of these. So I believe, as far as I understand, it's either equal or going up. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it looks like it's going up. I mean, if it were going down, then
yeah, that's the statistic I read too. So I don't know where he's getting it from.
No, ever since everyone got an iPhone and the highest purchasing power we've ever seen in consumer society, despair, anxiety, depression has skyrocketed. So I know the suicide rate went up. Everyone knows that. That's the whole point of these debates. And
that's
actually a really good point, Zherka.
Yes, and where does all this despair come from? It's because we walked away from the church, right?
Okay.
No.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses.
First and foremost, no, this is just complete bullshit. Second of all, I'm looking at the statistics here on Statista, and actually suicides peaked over here in 1990, especially for men. 2007 being when the iPhone came out. We only saw like a slight increase here from 18.1 to now we're at 22.8. So still an increase over time, but it's not like there's this stark, huge uptick because people left the church or something. That's no, I don't.
I mean, since the 1960s sexual revolution, that's really when all the problems started. Because when the Americans were a God-fearing society, they didn't have these problems of like getting roofied at bars and like not every girl's getting fucking molested at parties and all this.
That's because back then, because the time you're talking about,
taking care of kids.
No, because actually the time in which you're referring to being the 50s and 60s, domestic abuse and rape was not even usually processed as a legal problem. It was treated specifically, actually, child molestation by like a parent
hold on.
was treated as a domestic issue.
The greatest fake news I've ever heard. You're telling me women deal with more molestation and creeps now or in 1950s?
What I'm saying is I don't know. It would probably
just answer directly. What do you think? You don't have to know.
It seems like there's more now, but that's because it wasn't or it wasn't recorded.
I think
the time.
So now because
well, hold on, wait. Sorry, Emily. Zherka, are you lost, my friend? Are you okay right now? Are you following the conversation?
Can we
say when you're losing?
To,
answer the.
Social
you know what's funny is.
I have told you already that you know what.
This is why I troll, because this is why I like to troll, because you're not answering me. You're not even debating. You're just
No, you like to troll for clicks and
Are you
views.
talking
Shut
to
up.
me right now?
And to get
How am I
likes. We all
not
know.
debating
And so you
you?
can live in your little
Yeah,
like
fucking
bro pad.
soy boy
all
retard
know.
seizure. Answer the fucking question. Do you agree that there's
God.
more creeps and molestation now or in the 1950s? Obviously,
The
now in the
reason is
1950s.
because
Hold
of
on,
social
hold on.
media.
Ashley,
I literally
Ashley,
acknowledged
take a
you and I
break
said
from
it seems
losing.
like
Ashley,
there's
In
more.
the
take a break.
No, shut the
Ashley,
fuck up,
we
Zherka.
don't have
Okay,
any
you
more
want to get
L's for
everybody
you.
pissed
We don't-
off. Now when
we
people
ran
are
out
getting
of L's
pissed
for
off,
Ashley.
you're getting more
No,
pissy,
in the
okay?
1950s, we could not go online and elicit young men or young women into sexual situations. Okay,
Oh, because
give
of the
me a
digital
break.
age.
This is
That's the
the
difference. Is that
fucking
your argument?
argument.
Your argument is that the digital age is what expanded it?
Yes,
Yikes.
it
That's
is,
the only
actually.
thing, right? That's the only
Wait,
thing.
It's a
and what
completely
I said
valid
is that,
argument, you
and what I said
dumbass.
is, it sure
Yes.
and what I said is, it sure seems like there's more creeps
Yeah.
nowadays, but that's because you're comparing it to a time like the 1950s and 60s,
Just here, let's
when that wasn't being tracked very well. So there's no way by which we can actually measure.
Nor was the accessibility even close to the accessibility that
and let's not
predators
forget
have now.
let's not forget one tiny little variable for you little DNC run Satanists. The women were at home with kids. If there was a rape or molestation, it would have been marital, which the statistics are so fucking low, it's not even worth talking
That's
about.
because
at that
marital
point.
rape was not considered rape at the time. You're actually making the argument for me right
The
now.
point I'm making
Marital
is
rape
it's
at the time was
worse to be
specifically not
Zherka,
counted.
just
Hold
don't
on,
get
Hunter,
bait
Hunter.
from now on. Just
Hunter,
go on
is it
and
No,
do
worse
your
no,
to be
Zherka,
is
in
it
your own
worse-
words, bite the
do your
bullet,
fresh
dude.
and
Just
fit
bite the
panel
bullet.
shit.
Is it worse
you'll be
to
good.
be a woman 2023? If you're a woman, let's say you
God.
believe. Okay,
I
Hunter,
can
let's
already
say you want
answer
to.
this question. It is
I would
Let's say
worse.
say
you want to.
No,
speak
no, wait,
out.
please. He's asking me a question. I can answer.
Speak out
It
how
is the worst
actual
is to be a
speak
woman who
out.
exists in the same time period as you, Zherka. That's the correct answer here.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
it's the objectively correct answer.
That's cute. That's cute. Okay.
Let's go to the next
right.
one. Do want to say thank you very much for your question. Alternate Keck says Hunter keeps accusing John of being abusive. Low IQ.
When did
Did
I
you? I don't
accuse
know. My
John of being
feelings are hurt.
abusive?
Hey, can we have a group
When did
therapy
I-
session again?
To whoever
need
put that
one.
in the chat, I don't know if maybe they've been
Definitely
watching
do.
it. I think they may have been watching like a different stream and then donated on the wrong super chat. 'Cause
Glad you're drinking water.
I have not accused anybody of abuse this single time this whole time.
Did she attack me for drinking water?
This one from Von Zoom says, apologies, James. No disrespect intended. See, Ashley, there was even actually a person in chat that I got into a quarrel with. So I'm a little bit more
no,
testy.
shit happens, bro.
This
Like,
one from-
I'm sorry too.
Totally cool. No worries. It's the internet.
Shit happens,
All of
man.
it's
Shit
water under the
happens.
bridge.
It's the internet.
This is Von Zoom. Von Zoom, for real, no problem. Don't worry about it. I just get annoyed when people try to tell me what to do. But all is forgiven, Von Zoom. Night Shift 1 million says men today are totally too soft. And also said, is that Hunter Avalone or Weezer? If you want to destroy my sweater, pull the thread and walk away. Is that a
Very
Weezer?
nice.
You want
I think that's
to
a-
destroy my
I think that's a Weezer lyric,
sweater.
maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, the good old
thread
days.
and walk
Indeed.
away.
I had
love it. It's
Good middle school days. This one from Night Shift 1 million says, goodness, Ashley. So you're not a fan of you, Ashley.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm
Thunder-
okay. I can handle it.
Thunderstorm says, as a blue-eyed 6-foot white man, I'm not paying attention. Hi, Ashley, with a smiley face. What does that mean?
He's trying to smash.
Is he trying to seduce Ashley? This is
'Cause he's-
Peter
I
Zotti.
seriously doubt that.
Peter
Right.
Zotti
You
says,
would.
any fathers in the panel, not a father, not a man. Woo!
Aha! I win. Suck it, Zherka.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you win until your kid grows up and realizes his dad is a Democrat.
See, you could have gotten
One
such a
comment.
better. Wait, come on, dude. No, Zherka, please. You had the chance
Aren't
to
you
say,
worried about that day?
Zherka.
My
You could have,
dad is a
Zherka. You
Democrat,
could have
paid a
said,
bill. Oh my
no,
God.
Hunter, you would have
I don't
won,
feel
but then
safe.
you could have said, Hunter, you would have won until you get a DNA test. You could have roasted me so much better, dude.
Or is it a boy or a girl?
I have a boy and a girl.
God bless you. Wow.
Oh, I love it. How old are they, Hunter?
Are
They're
you
still very
teaching
young.
them?
I'm just a little bit
Are you- hold
disappointed
on,
that
Hunter,
Zherka
are
had a
you
chance
also-
to actually
are you-
roast me and kind of butchered it, man.
I'm
That
not
sucks.
roasting you. I'm asking on this
He
question.
can't
Are you
actually roast anything or
Okay.
anyone. He's a moron. That's the point, Hunter.
Ashley? Thank you for telling the
I'm
world you're
sorry.
triggered. Don't apologize. That's weak. That's
Oh, not
feminine.
to you. No, to Hunter.
Okay, well, Freudian slip. I think it was towards me. But Hunter, are you gonna also?
That's
teach your
not the
kids-
definition of a Freudian slip.
Hunter, are you
moron.
gonna teach your son to cut his dick
You're so
off
fucking
like
stupid.
the rest
I
of
love
your
it.
like the rest of your friends? Are you gonna teach your son to cut his dick off, Hunter? What are you
You
gonna
mean
teach your
No,
son
Like
about
to-
crashing?
mostly to
Yeah,
keep
what
my
are you gonna
this one-
answer? What are you gonna?
in
what are you
order to
gonna-
keep
what are
my
you gonna
son
teach your
safe, I'm
son,
going to
huh?
keep him away from people like you who are obsessed with children's
Are you gonna
genitals.
teach your
Safe.
kid to cut his
Let's
dick
go
off
to
and
the
take
next
hormone
one.
blockers?
No, I'm going to say
Is
stay
your
away
son
from the
gonna
guy
take
talking
This is
hormone
about your
uh,
penis,
from
Timmy. It's
Son's
very
gonna take
creepy.
hormone
Talks.
What
I'm
if
gonna
your
say
son
stay away
wants
from
to
the-
take
I hate to
hormone
do
No, I'm going to
this,
say,
but I
Timmy,
have
you
to
see
put
the
you
adult
on
man over
mute.
by the
Guys,
playground?
Guys,
Stay away from him,
guys.
okay? He's talking about
This one
penises
coming in
again.
from Ozzy and Talk says, Zherka, in the meta debate about you, why did Ashley beat you?
Can you refresh my memory? Which part? I don't remember actually winning ever in life.
This one coming in from Hake of the Hake Report. Amazing. Says, shout out, let's see, to the gentlemen, ladies, ma'am, males, and females. Thank you for that. Agent Black says, big up to Hake for that donation. Much respect. Wow.
Wait, James, I got a question.
What is it?
Like, what do you think? Do you think if Hunter's son wants hormone blockers at 14 and to cut his dick off, like, what do you think Hunter's gonna say? Is he gonna be very progressive there, or is he gonna change his tune?
You'd have to ask Hunter what his
Hunter,
thoughts
yeah,
are.
I'll ask Hunter. You're right. James is too good looking for me. Go ahead, Hunter.
That's
I'd be more than happy to talk with you about who is better looking. Maybe we can have a conversation about the kid's
Dodge.
genitals that you seem very,
Dog.
very
What happens
set
if your
on,
kid?
but
It's a genuine
yeah.
question. What happens if
here's
your kid
the,
wants
and
to
I
cut his
would be
dick
more
off?
than happy to give you a genuine answer when you want to come on my stream and talk when this has nothing to do with the
You won't
subject.
do it here.
He also
Well,
noted
we're
that I
ending
hate
the
when I should
debate
go
panel
F
is supposed to end in 3 minutes.
Just a yes or no.
and
Just a
yeah,
yes
my,
or no. If your kid
my food's
wants
about to
get
be here and whatnot, so
your
I gotta-
food, you're
yeah.
yeah,
Thanks,
you're
my
Hunter.
soy.
Hey,
I ordered
you are
some
my
soy
food.
milk.
You got ate alive. I ate
ordered
you
some
alive
soy
today.
milk.
You are my food today.
all
You're
right.
my Uber
Let's
Eats
go.
today.
Okay, let's go to the next question, and then
Yeah.
it's totally
'cause-
okay, Hunter. What I'm going to do is any questions that are for you, I'm going to read them, and then I do want everybody to agree. If Hunter has to leave the Zoom call in 2 minutes, I want everybody to agree that you're not going to talk about him after he leaves, because that wouldn't be fair when he's not here to defend himself.
I would never.
Hunter, if you have to go, it's totally okay.
If there's any
It's
more
fair,
thumbnail, I mean, if there's any more questions for me, yeah. But if not, I am gonna have to split.
I
'cause-
have one question for you, Hunter.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hunter, it was hold on, my turn. Hunter, it was nice debating with you tonight. You're a cool dude. Nice to meet you. I've watched a lot of your stuff, and I've
Thank you.
actually shared a lot of your stuff in the past. So
Very base. Well, thank
Which
you so
Hunter?
much. Appreciate it.
The successful Hunter, or did you share
I've
the
debated
recent
with
Hunter?
your wife before too, by the way. A
Me
few
too.
times.
So have I, yeah.
Well, either way, I appreciate. Thanks so much, James, for having me on. Zherka, once again, I appreciate you sucking me dry multiple different times today. That's been very nice.
What
And
if your son
either way,
wants
have
to
the
cut
rest
his
of
dick off,
good
Hunter?
rest of your day. And
Dad, I
Zherka, why
wanna
don't we
cut
have
my
another
dick
debate?
off, Dad.
Hey,
Dad, I
Zherka,
want to cut my
Zherka,
dick off. Is that
Zherka,
okay?
Zherka.
Is that okay? Can I cut Dad? Can
Okay.
I cut my dick off?
I guess I'll
All
just
right.
God, he's so gross.
again,
right.
Zherka. We can talk sometime else, but again, if you could please stop talking about children's
He's just
genitalia,
like
that
a
might be good
walking
for you.
meme.
But thanks,
Ugh.
James.